Less yapping, more doing. Could it be that actually getting on with something helps me overcome my nonsense with perfectionism? I mean, time's going to tell, but it seems like actually doing some stuff and not yapping about it is the way forward. So in the spirit of not yapping too much about the work and actually showing you some of the work that I've done, we're going to take a little look through some sketchbooks, some pages that I have identified or chosen for work that I want to kind of investigate further, having a little look at technique, colour, style, mood, format, all those kind of things to see which sketches I would like to do either on bigger canvases, would like to repeat again on bigger bits of paper or bigger formats, and to just get into being in an art practice again. The point of an art practice is to be practicing. So I'm told that's what you should be doing as an artist in order to get any better or to get into the groove of things with your work. So let's take a look at the sketchbook pages I chose, the reasons why I chose them, and then getting started on the actual practice itself. So the first one is taken from a life drawing class. I can't remember who I did this with, but it was with a particular model who features quite a lot. And I really enjoyed her face, and this particular sketch on the left hand side is one that that I was quite intrigued by in terms of the way that I've sketched it out and also the kind of colour and shapes and stuff. I really like the way that I've laid this out actually in terms of the composition, the style of sketch. I like how it's quite incomplete. I love the colour blocking at the back of it. The orange really kind of pops out and kind of really brings the figure to the front. I like that the figure at the front is still in quite kind of black and white. Whether or not I, choose to keep that black and white or maybe do something different with it, I don't know. But either way, I kind of want to have a little bit more of a play with this particular thing. The image on the right-hand side of these two sketchbook pages is less successful, and that's because I wasn't looking. And you can always tell when you're not looking at the subject matter properly and you're not actually relaying what you see in front of you. And on the page itself, I wasn't doing any real measuring. I was just scribbling, and you can tell it's not great. However, the one on the left, which is the one that I'm most interested in, is the one that I'll probably want to investigate a little bit further. This full figure sketch, again, is taken from a life drawing class. I really love the pose, the way that she's kind of holding onto her foot and the kind of green sock just on one leg. I found really interesting. And there's a device that can be used here with the green sock in terms of how I place the background. Certainly that's what I've done here with just some green markers. I'm not great at kind of single line figure drawings, but this is the first time I kind of attempted to do it. I tend to be much more of a scratchy type sketcher, and in instances where I've chosen not to be scratchy and I've kind of done single kind of lines, they're a little bit more successful than the other ones. And this is certainly not perfect by any measure. I don't think life drawing needs to be super perfect when you're just doing quick sketches. I just want to play with it a little bit more. And, for each of these moments of play and for each of these warm-ups, it's less about finished pieces and more about just getting back into the groove with it. So this will be a good one to try with. About 2 years ago, I took my nieces to a David Hockney exhibition, which was on at the Lightrooms exhibition space here in London. This sketch in my sketchbook is a section from a particular painting of his. I'll put the title up on the screen so you know which one it is. So when I came back from the exhibition, I wanted to kind of just block down some colour in my sketchbook and kind of figure out how his use of colour kind of interacts with each other, his kind of patterns and his compositions and the way that he kind of puts things together. I wanted to kind of see if I could perhaps do a bigger piece on this, and I think it will be just really super loose, and it'll just be colour and it'll just be splodges of colour and pattern, and we can see how we go with it. So for all of these versions of orange that I've done, there is a kind of flatness and a two-dimensionality and a kind of a graphic quality to the imagery. I guess that's because it came from, the original inspiration was from a card. First page, I did it just in colour pencils, I think, and it was kind of more a representation of the actual card itself. And the second time I did it in acrylic gouache and just kind of free-formed it to see how that would look. I loved it and really wanted to play with it a little bit more. I had a year or so prior to this, getting this card with oranges, I'd done another spread of oranges, which, as you can see, is this one here, which is more kind of real. This was actually taken from a photograph, and it was more realistic looking oranges, less graphic looking. And I really, really loved the use of black behind it to make the colours really, really pop. I think the oranges are going to be the thing that I use first as my first warm-up to going out of the sketchbook and onto a canvas. I'm not really looking at creating beautiful, realistic representations or renderings of oranges. I want to kind of recreate what I created in my sketchbook, but just on a larger scale, so I can kind of see how it works bigger. I haven't worked on canvas for a couple of years, so it's going to be a little bit rough and ready, but these are just warm-up exercises, so I'm not going to be too precious about it.
Let's go.
I did actually have quite a bit of fun doing that piece. It is by no measure a masterpiece. It's not supposed to be. It was just a bit of play. I enjoyed it. I'm not diminishing the work that I did on it. However, it's not the style that I probably want to be taking forward. I'm not looking to become the world's best painter of oranges. There are plenty more things in my sketchbooks that I can be using for play and for practice. Perhaps I'll be doing some more sketchbooking as we go forward, as I play more, as I do a bit more research, as I go and have a look at other artists' work and get a little bit more inspiration. I had fun, and that's the point, right? If you're not having fun while you're making art, then should you be doing it? So lots more play ahead. All of these exercises are what I'm considering a warm-up. They're going to be a couple of weeks and/or months in the making. We're going to see how I progress, and if you would like to follow along for the journey, please do subscribe. I hope you're finding time to be creative yourself, and I will see you in the next one.